Well, hello everyone, and welcome to 2025. I think this is our first podcast in the new year. So, Sanjeev ji, welcome. I hope you are in the US now, right?
First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully, this year brings new things, new ideas, new tax savings for everyone. Of course, proper new, like one has to take care of the health too.
That's true. Well, most importantly, I think a lot of people are looking forward to meeting with you in person in 2025. Last year you were in and out quite a bit, and a lot of people been saying that, hey, when is Sanjeev going to be available in the office? Because we want to go shake his hand and say Happy New Year
Sure.
and figure out what are we going to deal with our taxes in 2025. So hopefully you're going to spend more time in the office this year. And as far as I know, you're obviously not traveling during the tax season, right, Sanjeev ji?
Hopefully, no. Unless there's a personal emergency, yes.
Yeah, that emergencies and emergencies, but for the most part, you're going to be in office.
Yes.
So
Yes.
first of all, guys, everybody. So Sanjeev ji is in office. So if you need to set up an appointment with him, he's available. Absolutely, you can set up in Fremont, Sunnyvale, San Jose. Sometimes he gives like a special visit in Stockton these days as well. So you can choose any of those places to set up an appointment. And most importantly, tax season has started. IRS is now open for business. They are getting their collection agents, electronic and in person, turned on to start collecting their tax bill. So I want to talk to Sanjeev ji quite a bit about 2025. But before I begin, today's January 15th. So I'm going to try to get this podcast out live on our website ASAP. But those of you guys who have some high income, especially if you made more income than last year, you really need to make those estimated tax payment. And today the deadline is 9 p.m. Eastern. So Sanjeev ji, any tips you can give people? How should they figure out what kind of payments they need to make?
It's already at the end of the day of January 15th, but like I said, like you rightly said, this is open for business. January 15th, they've also said that they are open for accepting business tax returns. So if you are running businesses as Corp, C Corp, LLCs, they're open to, you can e-file the returns. The individual returns is January 29th. For doing the estimated tax payment, there are different ways you have to look at the estimated tax payment. One is a general rule, which everybody knows. Look at your tax liability of 2023 and look at your pay stub for the current year. Look at the federal withholding on your pay stubs. That should be equal to at least 110% of your tax liability, not the tax payment, the tax liability on your 2023 tax return, federal return 1040. That's a general rule. But a specific rule is you have to look at your circumstances for this year. You might have made a lot of money in stocks, or you might have got a lot of bonuses, or your businesses might have done very good, or you might have invested in a real estate and your real estate is giving a lot of money, maybe sale of real estate, or you have a lot of foreign income, or you have taken distribution from your retirement account for one reason or the other. So that situation itself will complicate matters. So that will not be accounted for. There's a special circumstances that happens. In those special circumstances, most probably, let's say if you have an RSU listing or you have merger and acquisition, you're part of the merger acquisition and you got a lot of stocks, a lot of stock they've taken by this selling company and they take given money for you. So they withheld only 25% of the taxes. When they sell the stocks to recover the taxes, the tax only covers 25% of federal. And state, of course, they cover only 5 to 7%. So you're obligated to pay the difference, and that difference should be calculated and should be paid by January 15th. If you pay the taxes with your tax return, that only extend the penalty and interest for the additional time after January 15th that you pay for the payment that you make with your tax returns. Now there's 160 tax code relating to payment of penalties and interest. We cannot avoid too many scenarios of penalty interest, but we can definitely, if you do the proper way, a lot of penalties can be avoided. But if you don't do it by January 15th and you wait for the tax returns to be filed, remember the taxes, the W-2s, 1099, broker statements, other statement comes only by end of February or mid-March. You already like 2 months delay from January 15th, so additional penalty interest will apply. So that's the way I will look at it. Like if you not make the estimated tax payment, or you did not withhold too much taxes from your W-2 or from your business accounts, try to file your return as soon as possible. There's no other, you cannot go back and make the estimate tax payment now because already January 15th around 5 o'clock, it's already closed.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone, Sanjeev's entire staff is in office right now. So those of you guys who are ready with your paperwork, maybe you got your company paperwork already, and maybe you don't have a paperwork ready and you haven't even submitted your bank statements and your credit card statements and all that. This is the time to get that done. If you're not submitting all that paper, Sanjeev might have to file an extension for you. So remember, come March, he starts to get super busy. So please, if you have any documentation you need to get to Sanjeev's office, do that right now. As Sanjeevji pointed out, in case you missed out on making these estimated payments, your next best option is to file your taxes ASAP. So anyhow, that's enough about that. If you want to learn more about that, just reach out to the office at 825-7563, and Sanjeev staff can definitely help you with that. Another important reminder for everyone, and then I have a few other questions for Sanjeevji for today, is that we have a webinar coming up. And I think that webinar is on 25th, if I'm not wrong, on
Yes,
January.
January, yes.
And it's a Saturday. It's going to be 2 hour long from 10 a.m. to noon. And this one webinar is designed to prepare you to effectively file your tax return. Now, the reason why I say that is I'm pretty sure all of you guys would like to meet with Sanjeev before filing your tax returns. Right? Wouldn't that be awesome? All of us can sit down with him for 2 hours and ask him all of our questions. But obviously that is not possible, right? You're working with your tax professional to help you out with your tax return. It's going to be super difficult for Sanjeev to meet with every single person during the tax time. Well, guess what? This is your opportunity to do that. Join the webinar. If you're our existing customers, great. If you're not our customer, you want to get to learn about us. You want to see what Sanjeev does and how he does his business and how he takes care of his clients. You want to get to know him better. Join the webinar. After the webinar, he's available for open Q&A. You can ask all your questions, whether you do business with us or not, doesn't matter. He's kind enough to answer everybody's question. So please, if you're watching this, then go to sanjeevcpa.com and register for that webinar right now. There's no cost to it. It's absolutely free. Sanjeev, if you can maybe spend a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about why this webinar is important. Like, why should people care? Like, we all file our tax returns every year. Like, why do I need to prepare for it?
Yes. Before I go to that, I just want to, as everyone knows, there's a lot of fire being there on the California, Los Angeles County side. And lot of property has been lost. People have lost their homes. About 21,000 acres of property has been destroyed, and about $100 billion has been lost. So my heart goes out to everyone who is there in LA County, even the tax professionals. Of course, California has extended the deadline. The IRS has extended the deadline for filing the return to October 15th. For all those peoples who are in LA County, and also tax professional or their property or their locals have been located in those areas. These are treated as a federal disaster area, and of course you can extend the deadline. But again, it's a very sorrow state of affairs in California. That should never happen, but that is happened by it's a natural disaster. Coming to the webinar part, is why it's so important, because a lot of times what happens is we get a lot of documents from different agencies, like for example, broker statements, interest statement from banks, dividends from stock or brokerage companies. We get mortgage interest from lenders. We get 1099 from the contractors. We get retirement distribution from the brokerage companies. Then we get rental income, K1s from different investments, plus real estate, your rental real estate, then you have all kinds of transactions. And plus the foreign income. So you get so many documentation. Sometimes you get documentation in the mail. Sometimes documents comes on your email. Or sometimes it does not come. Just a reminder comes, just log into your account and that the tax document is there. So the probability of you losing those documents or missing those documents are very high, very, very high. So it's a eye opener for people to look at all the documents which are important for filing their taxes. Even one simple missed document can either levy you more penalty interest with the taxes due, or any deduction that you can claim, but you're not claiming because you don't have the document in your place. So it's important to not only the tax preparation is all about documentation. It's all about looking at your things. So don't just keep if you get something in the mail, people have a tendency to just keep in the envelope and give it to a tax professional and open the envelope that time. So maybe you lost a lot of things. Maybe you have to go on the email and see what things are there. That's one thing. Second thing, lots of changes are always there. Last year, the Secure 2.0, all the things are changing. There are a lot of new items are there on the tax 1040 forms. Plus, new things are coming up. Cryptos, a lot of people are trading in cryptos. There are different kinds of rules and regulation on cryptos. A lot of people have started their business, sold their businesses. So a lot of things are happening in that area. Plus, 2024 and starting year is the starting year of the 2025 means 2025 there are a lot of things will change. There's a lot of provisions are sunsetting in 2025. So we have to see what things we don't want to avoid any things. We want to take the maximum benefit of all deductions, and we have to report at the same time all income. So this webinar will provide those information. It will provide all the updates that you need for looking at your tax preparation for 2024, plus some tax filing tips, tax preparation tips, and anything coming for this coming year. We will also provide those tips also at the webinar.
Yeah, and I'll put it a little bit differently, Sanjeev. Although, you've been doing it for so long that you have to go into nitty-gritty details. I mean, you're already giving me chills right now, like all these documents. I'm imagining all this stuff. I can imagine my mailbox being filled with all kind of documents, and now I need to go start, searching which one is important, which one is not, which one going to come to electronic mail. Many people have a mailbox, so do I. Did something go there? Did my LLC got renewed or not renewed? All kind of crazy stuff. So I do agree with you that attending a webinar like this reminds you about all the things that you might miss. So that way you're a little bit more proactive in identifying those documents. So that's good. But let me put it the other way. And the way I look at it is most of you guys who are watching our program are probably paying $50,000 or more in taxes. Right, Sanjeev, what do you think if you were to make a guess, what do you think the estimate might be for our viewers?
The clients that come to us, they pay a lot of tax because their income is substantial. Yeah.
Right. So would it be fair to say that minimum for most people will be around 50,000?
Easy.
Easy 50,000, right?
Yeah,
so think about it. Just a 10% threshold is $5,000. That means if you just miss $5,000 worth of deductions, or you don't report something that is worth 5,000. I mean, that's 10%. I mean, that can have a huge impact. So it does make sense to join the webinar and kind of catch up on all that. All right, so that's enough about the webinar. We'll talk about it on January 25th. I think we have 300 seats. I think if I'm not wrong, already 200 are filled. So there are about another 100 more seats out there. So please share it with your friends, family members, and let them join the webinar. Other than this, Sanjeev, another confusion that is among people right now is related with BOI reporting. And that confusion is coming from not just from tax professionals, it's coming from Democrats and Republicans. It's coming from federal government and state governments. It's coming from narrative that keeps changing on a almost like a weekly basis, in sometimes bi-weekly basis. So if you don't mind, first of all, in just one sentence to everyone, should people be filing their BOI report right now, or should they not?
Answer yes.
Okay, so in your opinion, they should file the BOI report.
Yes.
So that's the answer. Now give me the rundown as to what's going on with BOI. Why so much confusion?
Yeah, because one judge says something, then they file the appeal in the Supreme Court, and then there are a lot of things happening between federal and the state level politics going on. See, the important thing here, what's the intention behind this? The intention behind this to have everybody report who is the applicant and who is the person controlling the affairs of the company. It's very simple. We are not trying to manipulate. We are not doing shell companies, right? We are not trying to hide assets inside those companies or hide the people inside the company. So our intention are very clear. We have formed an LLC or we formed an S corporation, C corporation, maybe husband, wife, maybe few partners here and there. What's wrong? And you just go ahead, just treat it like important matter. Go there, and BOI reporting is very simple. Only takes to 5-10 minutes. You can go there. They just ask information. Who is the applicant? Who is the beneficiary? Who is the controller of more than 25%, 50% of the stocks? And they just put up the travel license, put your information, and you're done and go. And you don't have to. Really, there's nothing there. So you don't, if you are not that person who feeling that you are trying to cheat the system, then of course you will worry. But for me, for all my clients, we just went ahead and find the report. It's very simple. It's not complex.
Yeah, I don't think it's about, I don't think our clients are doing anything wrong, but just like me, many people are just simply lazy. We don't want to go and do
It's very,
anything extra if we don't
yeah,
have
it's
to.
very simple. Just go ahead and find it. It just, in fact, if you're aware that when you do incorporate a business in any state, it's a public document. It's a public information, and there's all information is available. So why not just go ahead and do the BOI? Anyway, they will cross check everything.
Yeah, and you rightly said, and I think that's the core of the confusion to begin with. States are saying that we already collect this information anyway. Most states, you need to file that information with the state. And now you're adding on this extra step in it, and that's the extra burden. And that's the idea. I think right now, if I'm not wrong, 22 or 25 attorney generals for states are disputing the BOI filing requirement from a federal government. And they're pushing it right now. The case is with the Supreme Court. And those of you guys who are a little bit worried as to what the outcome might be, is that federal government is really pushing hard to get a hearing on it as soon as possible. But as of today, my understanding is the oral arguments are scheduled for March 2025. So, and we don't know how it will go. Obviously, by that time, Trump Saab would be already in office, and we'll see how it goes. But I agree with Sanjeev that politics, all this crap, we don't have time to deal with all that, right? We got our business to do, so my
Yeah,
apologies.
just concentrate. What happens if something happens in favor of finding this report and we are so busy and
Yep.
we find time and the time issue period is very short. They give 60 days or 90 days rule. So what
Yep.
happens if you don't do it? Priorities are huge. Why not just go ahead and do it?
Yeah, so I like that. So take care of that if you have not already done it. Now, Sanjeev, walk people through it. If they haven't done it, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to tell the staff when they're filing their tax return to file the BOI? You want them to
Yes.
do it on their own? What's your process?
Yes, so the process is technically CPAs are not supposed to file the VOI report, but they're not authorized representative of the companies. So when you go for filing a return, you sit with your CPA. They can guide you to do in front of them. And it's very, like I said, it hardly takes 5-10 minutes to do the filing.
All right. So other than BOI, any other major updates that we need to worry about before the January 25th?
Updates are there. Too many updates are there. Of
No,
course,
as far as deadline, something they need to do this week.
that's it. Just start. They can join our webinar, understand the things that we are looking for for filing the taxes for 2024, and any update that we're going to provide on the tax regulations that are going to change or that are changed for 2024.
All right. Now, those of you guys who are new to Sanjeev Gupta CPA firm, if you have never done business with him, the process is very simple. You go to sanjeevcpa.com and you fill out a form for filling out your tax return. Once you fill out the form, the staff will contact you. They will collect some information, how complicated your return is. They want to know if you are selling the Taj Mahal or you're buying the Taj Mahal. Based on that, they're going to figure out how much it's going to cost you. Obviously, if you are buying a Taj Mahal, they might even decide to report you. No, just kidding. They are not IRS police. They work for you, not for the IRS, just to clarify that. So you're always welcome to discuss anything you want to discuss with your tax professional. They're not going to take that information and report to IRS. They are there to help you. They are there to help you make the right decision. So all you got to do is tell them what's going on, and they will give you a code. Once you get the code, you approve it, and then you file a couple of disclosures releasing of certain liabilities. And once you do that, that authorizes us to work on your file. And in few days, we'll have your tax return all wrapped up, and then you authorize us to e-file it. Sanjeev ji, turns on his special X-ray glasses to see what is not written on the tax return to identify what you need to know. And if everything looks good to him, then he will say, okay, green light, let's do it. And you're done with it. That's the process. We're going to try to make it super easy for you in 2025. So please, if you have friends, family members, recommend our services to them, and we'll take good care of them. Sanjeev, anything you want to add to that?
No, you rightly put out, like the process is simple. Of course, they can connect with us, one number to connect all the 4 offices. And yeah, we are waiting. We are ready. Our team is ready for the tax filing season 2024.
And let me remind everyone, some of you guys might not be in Bay Area, right?
Oh,
So if you're not in Bay Area, you're anywhere in the world, you can always consult with Sanjeev on Zoom. So just so you know, right? You can always talk to him. You can always discuss situation, and he can even file your tax return.
yes.
Obviously, as long as you're willing to work with him. Uh, you know,
Anything. If you have any income coming from your source, we can file a return for that.
yeah, so definitely reach out to Sanjeev ji. All you got to do is go to sanjeevcpa.com and fill out the form, and he will take good care of you. Sanjeev ji, thank you so much for your time. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot on January 25th. It's going to be a 2-hour long webinar. So we're going to dig deep into different kind of incomes, different kind of document that you might be missing. And if you join that webinar, I think you'll be better prepared to file your taxes, regardless of how you do it. If you're doing it yourself, it will help you. If we are doing it, it's not just going to help you, it's going to help us because we will be better prepared. And if you're doing it with somebody else, they will love us. They will say, oh my God, Sanjeev made my life so much easy. So regardless of what you're trying to do, I will still recommend that you come and join webinar and talk to Sanjeev ji on that webinar. You're going to love it. So thank you, Sanjeev ji, and have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Thank you.